Okay, good morning. This is Lucky Links. This is a very interesting subject and one that I've been watching for a very, very long time. You know, there's this wonderful line in the movie Practical Magic, for those of you who've seen it. And for those of you who haven't, it's about two young women who are descended from a line of witches. And one of the young women has some horrible experiences in her life, and she sort of denies the family abilities. But the two women get into a scrape, and then they call on the power of their family, and they do some magic that goes terribly wrong. And the two aunts that raised them, who are really experienced witches, have to get involved in the situation because it's gone so terribly wrong. And at one point, one of the aunts says to her niece, the one who's been denying the family power, she says to her, "You can't practice magic while looking down your nose at it." And that is such a wonderful line. You can't practice magic while looking down your nose at it. There's another one it's in the book, and actually I don't remember if it's in the book now, but it's in the movie for The Mists of Avalon. Guinevere, it's a retelling of the King Arthur story from the point of view of the women in the story, and Guinevere goes to Morgan Le Fay because she can't get pregnant, and she says, "I hear that there are herbs and there are things that can make me pregnant." And Morgan basically says, "Yeah, that there are." And she says, "Well, will you do this for me?" Because she wants to give her husband, King Arthur, a child. And she says, "Just tell me this once, that it's not the devil's own magic, and I will believe you." And Morgan graciously says, "You'll have the herbs by morning." So there's this idea that magic is evil, magic is bad, magic is something that you don't deal with or get involved in until you need something. I had planned on doing this video today, and then the most interesting thing happened. Someone on Facebook invited me to be part of a group supposedly focused on abundance. And I looked at the group, and right there in one of the top posts was affirmations for winning the lottery. And they were like, "I am winning the lottery right now. I am getting the numbers that I need to be able to win the lottery. A big lottery win is coming to me." Okay. But it's under the guise of abundance and abundance coaching. There are all of these spiritual gurus out there and law of attraction people who tell you that sort of thing, magic, witchcraft, all that sort of thing is evil. And here they are putting out card decks, like Doreen Virtue. She's a perfect example, right? It's like, well, we got to take anything that's evil or wicked like the devil out of the deck, but here's these angel decks, which are still tarot decks. They still operate the same way. They still have the same rules. But it's okay because it's an oracle deck and they're angels. The churches do the same thing. And they make invocations, they do binding ceremonies. Oh, it's like, the Catholic Church took all of their saints from the pagan gods. The pagan gods couldn't, they wanted to absorb the pagans into their church, so they changed the name on some of the gods that the people were so devoted to, and so some of the local spirits, some of the local deities, some of the local elemental beings, and they made saints out of them. They repackaged it. This is marketing. Marketing has been going on since we've had humans. We repackage it so that it's okay for our agenda and what we want to sell, whether it's Catholicism, whether it's the Church of Islam, whether it's the religion of Islam, whether it's Zoroastrianism, whether it's paganism, whether it's the life coach that wants to sell you abundance training. You can call it whatever you want to call it. It is still dealing with the spirit world, and it still comes with rules. rules and rules of engagement, and you're dealing in contract magic then, and contracts, no matter what you call it. The reason that so many of those sort of manifesting, that's the big thing. Everyone saw Oprah manifesting, so it's okay. If you think that there isn't an equal compensation that will eventually come due on that, then you're not really paying attention to the world, and you're deluding yourself. Everything, a life-changing deal like that, comes with a payment due that's equal compensation. Every wish that you make comes with the need for equal compensation, or things go out of balance. And the fact that so many people have taken so much in the world right now without giving equal compensation has caused such a great imbalance in the world that you can see it wherever you go. And I'm going to tell you that you're going to start to see more and more strange things happen because of that imbalance. It's the way that nature works. It's in the old texts. It's in the I Ching. It's in Lao Tzu's work. It's in the old Sumerian stories. It's even in the Bible when things go out of balance like that. Some of the stuff Jesus said was very much. Read the Gospel of Thomas. Some of the stuff that he says very much talks about these engagements with the spirit world and an engagement with your own mind. So you can call it whatever you want to call it. You can call it manifesting, you can call it oracle cards, you can call it whatever you want to call it. You are still engaging with the spirit world, and there are rules. It is their world. And whenever you have to ask something or someone from the spirit world to do something that you can't do, it comes with a need for equal compensation. So let's set that aside for a moment, and let's just look at how humans interact with humans. Whenever you get something from another human, it also demands equal compensation. If someone does something for you, gives something for you, sometimes things can be given as a gift. That's one thing. But when you do exchanges with people, if there is no equal compensation, things go terribly out of balance. For years, I undercharged what I was doing for my readings. I didn't necessarily believe that people would pay for what I was doing, especially when I started out. I had a very difficult time getting people to do an equal compensation, and in some cases people literally gypped me out of it. And people tried to tell me that it wasn't worth anything, but then they'd want me to do a reading for them. And there was a good portion of my life where I was actually giving readings away or letting people donate what they thought they were worth. And I ended up in a very unfortunate place, unable to feed myself or take care of what I needed. And that was a good example of not letting equal compensation be the rule for what I was doing in these particular exchanges. Now, there's nothing wrong with giving a gift, and I totally encourage people to give and to give what they have and give of their talents and give, because that's one of the ways that we grow and unite as humans and as a society, and with the other worlds that I talked about in the reincarnation, the animal world and the spirit world. But I'm going to repeat that wonderful line from Practical Magic. You can't look down your nose at magic while practicing it, or you can't practice magic while looking your nose down at it. These people who are setting themselves up as, they're saying, well, the ability comes from you. No, it doesn't. Yes, you have extrasensory perception, but whenever you plug into that spirit world, you're operating by their rules now. You can't just call on the universe and think that it doesn't involve the spirit world at all. That's really showing a great ignorance and disrespect to a world that has been talked about, written about in all of the old stories and all of the old fables and all of the old fairy tales. Read them. There are rules in there. There are hints in there of how we're supposed to engage. They're not, this is not, I can get whatever I want just because the universe loves me without. There's a balance that needs to happen. And there's a great many of those religions out there and those philosophies and those laws that suggest that you can just take, and you'll never have to pay. I'm going to end with another story. There was a woman a long time ago that I did, I used to do these festivals, and there was a woman who came to me once, and she was having some particularly difficult times. And she wanted a reading, and we were talking about it, and I said, look, what wishes and invocations are you making? because there is equal compensation that must happen. And she flipped. She got extremely angry at me. She started yelling at me. She says, I don't believe that at all. And she got pretty hostile. And I never even got a chance to further explain or delve into what was going on in her situation, because she got so mad of the idea of equal compensation, or the fact that if she'd asked for a wish, something else. She didn't believe it. She got very angry about it, and I noticed later that there were a lot of problems that developed. Health problems, job problems, relationship problems, because this was an individual who was around the circles that I saw a lot, and in the end, some very serious health problems and some very serious life problems developed because she didn't believe in the concept of equal compensation. And then when things started going really bad for her, she started to revisit the idea that maybe there was a need for equal compensation in the wishes that she was asking for and getting. I'm going to say one final thing on this. This is why people didn't just set themselves up. This is why lineages and people who learn by word of mouth, this is why this stuff isn't written down. We don't write down the processes for making these things happen, because humans get greedy, they get arrogant, they get full of themselves, and they start to set themselves up as experts without actually having done the work to get in the situation where they can help others get involved in this stuff. There is a reason why humans didn't just go out there and start doing magic, quote unquote, and as my master said, humans can't do magic. That's why they need to have something intercede for them. That's why they need to have contracts made for them and brokered for them with the spirit world, because they don't know what they're doing, they don't know what the rules are, and they haven't studied and they haven't learned the processes to be able to manage those rules. So they get themselves in all sorts of unfortunate situations. So I'm going to say to those people out there who are, making those affirmations to win the lottery, that's fine, make the wishes. I'm not discouraging people to make wishes. We're living in a place where wishes are very possible. What I am saying is know what you're asking for, know why you're asking it, and know what the terms of the deal you're making, because later the deal is going to come due and you have to be aware that this is the deal that you made. And then don't end up going, oh my God, I don't understand why this is going on. There is a reason why most of the people who win the lottery end up broke a year later. Think about it. I think that's all I wanted to say on the subject. I'm going to say one more thing. Sometimes when the wish is made, the people who make the wish push it away. And just because you push the wish away doesn't mean that the compensation still isn't demanded. Because if something helps you to make that wish come true, even if it comes to you and pushes it away, which I've seen many, many times in my life, it doesn't mean that there isn't still equal compensation that's demanded. Now, again, before you get all weirded out by, oh my God, what am I wishing for? Start to look at what the deals are you're making with humans. When other humans that you're dealing with on a daily basis, are you keeping your word? Are you talking but not following through? Are you saying you're going to do all these things and then you don't do them? Are you writing in your journal that this is what I'm going to do and then you don't follow through? Are you saying you're going to meet new people and then you don't? Are you say you're going to start a new business and then you don't? Do you not follow through on your actions? These are really good signs that you're not keeping your deals, especially with yourself. And if you're going to learn how to keep deals with the spirit world, you better start by learning how to make deals with yourself. I'm Lucky Links, as always, wishing you success and good fortune in all that you do. If you'd like to get a reading from me, 779-302-8009 is the number. I also have classes. I have a class in tarot, which is an intermediate to advanced, but I'm willing to start a beginner class for folks who want to do a beginner class. I have a playing card class. I have a crystal ball class. I have a class in how to read Mexican Loteria, and I have 2 Lenormand classes. One that's a Grand Tableau and one that's a basic Lenormand. And they all happen in a secret Facebook group, each one in a different secret Facebook group, and they all come with one one-on-one coaching session with me. And if you'd like to learn about them, contact me and I'll tell you the details. And then If you like these videos, want to donate to help keep them coming, I'm putting the PayPal and the Venmo below. People have been extremely generous with their donations, and I'm very grateful to you guys who've done it. There's some really wonderful things that people have donated. I really appreciate that. Thank you for that equal compensation. If you've gotten value, I really appreciate that. So remember, one more time, you can't practice magic when you're looking down your nose at it, and I don't care what it is that you call it. When you call it something else and you don't respect it for what it is, and you don't respect the rules of engagement with the spirit world, it usually blows up on you.